Today's video we will be installing the BJ's Off-Road hood release lever and cable system and also upgrading to the billet knob. First step will be to get this one removed, and then we'll show how to route the new one. So when replacing a hood release lever and cable, one of the hardest parts is getting your hood popped open if it's already broken. And inside ours, you can see that there is a little tiny lever inside of there, and you have to use something long and slim to be able to get in there and pop it open. And so we're going to use a flathead screwdriver. Now you risk damaging your paint, so you want to make sure to protect it. On ours, it's been damaged already in a few spots, so we're not going to bother with that. There we go. So now you can go ahead and open up your hood. And here you can see where the hood release cable comes in. And you can see there's a grommet. And the new one that we sell at BJ's Off-Road includes a grommet. Comes up here along this hood brace, and there's a zip tie there, a zip tie here. Then it comes up. There are two bolts that hold it in place, right there and right there. And you can see the end just basically slides in here, and it also slides in there. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and clip both of the zip ties. There's two. And next, you're going to have to take this piece and pry it out, which I just use a pair of wire cutters to pull it, because again, it doesn't matter if you damage it, this whole thing has to come out anyway. And then you just push the wire up above and then let it hang down. Then the next step is to go ahead and remove the two 1/2-inch bolts. And you don't have to take it all the way out, but you can loosen them, and that'll be enough for this to pop out. On ours, it's actually broken up here as well. So remove that out the back. And now you can see where this has actually cracked and separated, which explains why it was getting harder and harder to pull. Next step is to use a T25 Torx bit and remove the two screws that hold the lever onto the body. There we go. And now this whole assembly will pull out. Hard to see. There we go. And so you can see up there is where the grommet is. And so we'll go to the other side and we'll push the grommet through and then remove the whole assembly. And so here's where the grommet passes through. You simply just kind of fold it in on itself and it'll push through. And then you just feed it all the way into the cab. And then the last little bit will push right on through. And that's it. This is the replacement hood release lever and cable from BJ's. And on our previous unit, this is the knob that broke off, rendering it useless. We also sell an upgraded billet version, which you can see here. And this one has a billet knob on it, which of course will never break again, so you'll never have to worry about that problem. And so we'll go ahead and get this installed. The first step is going to be to remove this clip, and then there is another clip on the back side here that'll get removed. And in this kit, for the billet knob, we include two more clips for it. That way you can either use it on an existing hood lever cable that is in good condition, or if you're putting it on a new one that's broken, you can have this. That way when you remove the two existing clips, if you damage them, you got two brand new ones. To get the old piece off, we basically had to break this into a couple little pieces. It's going to grab really tight around this shaft, and it will damage some of the plastic going up, but the new one is going to also hold tight, so no worries about that. So then this, you simply slide out. So then you take the lever, and you're just going to wiggle it gently up and down on the shaft and get it popped off. And here is the other clip that you're going to remove. There we go. Of course, make sure that you follow the same orientation as before. So what we're going to do is remove this piece, and we're going to set the knob here. And then you will install the new one with the raised portion facing out. And you can simply push that down on there. Okay, and now we flip this over, slide it on the shaft. Whoops. There we go. So this is what it'll look like assembled. Okay, now we need to put the last clip on and push that down. And sometimes it helps to use a socket that's just around the right size of the outside and use that to push it down. And the last little bit, we'll use a screwdriver just to get it fully seated the rest of the way down. And now the knob is installed and fully seated. All right, so we'll go ahead and get it installed. And you can see up here the hole where it's going to have to go through. So we simply feed that up, push it through, and feed a good bit of it in. And then we'll go up on the top side and finish the install. You can see I pushed the grommet about 3/4 of the way up. And that way, when we push it in, it'll already be in the right spot and we won't have to fight pushing it up. So let's go to the other side now on the firewall and we'll pull it in. And here we'll grab the cable and just pull it up the rest of the way. And now we need to push it up here through the backside. And you might have to do a little wiggling because there's a pad up there that's a little bit hard to get around. There we go. There we go. Okay. There we go. We'll put the little plastic clip in here first. We'll push that in place. Now we'll get the rest of it aligned. Okay, now that we have the front plastic piece put in place, the next is going to be getting the rest of the cable, the second clip, put in. Look at that into space. And you simply push that guy down in, and you can use a small pair of pliers to get it fully seated in. There we go. So now that that is popped into place, we'll go ahead and retighten these bolts. And you can see that there are adjustments. These two holes are slotted to allow you to adjust the pull on the cable. So what we'll do is set it about halfway or close to where it was before. Okay, now that we have the two bolts tightened back up and everything aligned properly, we're going to go ahead and install the zip ties. And after we go ahead and zip tie it, we'll move the grommet into place on the firewall, and then we'll install the handle from the cab side. Now I do like to leave just a little bit of slack in the line. So let's hold that and get that guy nice and tight out of the way. And we'll trim off the excess. The final step in this procedure will be to tighten the T25 Torx bolts. And there we go. And that's all there is to it. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave us a comment down below. Make sure to like and subscribe, and you can also visit us at bjsoffroad.com.